Hello, Mrs. Turkey. Hello. Hello, Mrs. Turkey. Good morning to you. Oh, you guys are back. Welcome back to the homestead. I had to call in the plumber. Oh wait, I am the plumber. Well, I'm gonna tell you guys what's going on with this in just a minute, but let me get this part of it finished up real quick. I'm having this problem, and it's not with those guineas. I couldn't remember see what happened was Rambo, our ram sheep, he actually was rubbing up against our hydrant and busted the PVC pipe in the ground. But I couldn't remember if I had to splice it twice to make the fix, and I didn't know if it was a little further back than it was, so I just wanted to double check because I've had this hole open all summer long pretty much. I was kind of watching it. I just had this feeling that there was a leak in there, and when I put the PVC pipes back together and glued them and everything, I just wasn't satisfied that I had a really secure fit. So I was just kind of keeping an eye on it. I didn't put the dirt in it on purpose, left it go, but then we had this really wet fall, and into winter now we've been really wet, so there was always kind of water in this hole, and I was busy building the learning center, and you know, all this stuff's going on, the sawmill project, all this stuff you guys are waiting for. And now it's kind of rainy and gloomy and all this stuff, as you guys can see. So this thing was leaking, and I got it all cleaned up day before yesterday. I put the new caps on them. I'm going to show you guys those in a minute, all this stuff here. And then I left it alone just to see if water would come in there, and sure enough, water was kind of filling up. So I knew I had a leak, but I just wasn't sure how far back I had spliced the pipe. So because I have the machine, I went and got the machine today because I'm going to fix this other problem. I'm going to show you guys what's up. So stay tuned in this video. Don't be tuning out. There's gonna be some good stuff. This is just the beginning part. So I dug up the other side of the fence here just to see how I was looking as far as my connections go. But sure enough, I only had to make the one connection right there. So I'm on my way right now to shut off the water at the main box here, the main area, and I'm going to show you guys what that looks like. Some of you guys have been around here not too long, and you might not even know that we live off rainwater 100%. We have 3,000 gallons that we collect, and obviously it rains quite a bit here where we are, so there's no problem with that. And it's all gravity fed. There's no pumps, no power, no problem. If you're new around here too, we don't have solar power or anything. We're just now hooking up solar power after 8 years of living with no electricity, no solar power, no public utilities. So let's get in here. We're gonna turn this water off. I'm gonna show you guys what it looks like inside this room, if it's not too dark. All right, Voila, 3,000 gallons of the best water you can have in your life, rainwater. That right there is what we call a first flush. I'll do a video about this coming up, but that's a first flush. That takes care of all the dirt that comes down off the roof. Then this fills up. When that fills up, the roof's clean, then it backfills into these big tanks, 3,000 gallons, 1,500 and 1,500. They fill up together, and then the overflow goes out the back of the building. So that's our setup right here. And as you can see, last year we actually foamed in this whole room. So it's totally boss, it's airtight, keeps a very good temperature in here even when it's really cold. And can you see the sweating on the tanks? The sweating on the tanks, that's because the water's in here that creates a lot of mass, and the temperatures are fluctuating up and down outside. So as it gets cooler outside, the water's staying warmer because it takes a long time to cool down, and what happens is it causes condensation on the outside of the tanks. So a lot of times, because we don't have indicators, I can come out and just see how much sweat, where the sweat line is on the tank, and that'll be where the water is. But right now we're running full capacity on both sides, even with a leak. So let's get in here. We've got to go to the other side of this tank to the shutoff valve. I'm going to show you guys that if I can get you over there and we can see. I had to get over here on this side of the tank, and I have my little thermometer in here. Looks like it come off the dealio here. I left it back here because I wanted to get a reading as far away from the door as I could. If that's accurate, we're running about 40 degrees right now, which I don't think that's accurate. So I'll have to keep an eye on that. I think it's about almost 50 degrees outside real temperature. Okay, so this right here is the ball valve. Let me show you guys this real quick. You guys, I don't know if I've ever even showed you guys this. One of our cats was in there. All right, so this right here is our little area. This is where the, I don't know, you can't see. I'll do another video and show this to you better, but this is what you get right now. This is the inland, so this goes into the log cabin. There's a little filter right there. I'll show it to you later. So a couple times in the very beginning of our system, we were having troubles with the line freezing right here because of this cavity. I'll show it to you later. I got that all fixed with the foam. We hadn't had any problems. Shut the water off right now, and then we'll go drain the line so we can work with a little less mud. All right, so now I got to climb back over this thing and get out. I'll see you guys back over there at the water hole. One of my other major priorities is the weather's going to change tonight, and tomorrow the high is going to be like 28 or something. So we're going to be overload night temperatures like 15 and 10 and 13 degrees coming up. So I want to make sure I got my hole covered back up so this pipe isn't exposed to those cold temperatures. So like I said, we figured out, I was gonna even think about moving this hydrant on the other side of the fence. I just went and talked to Stacy about it before I came back over here, you know? And I don't think we're a player on that. So what I'm gonna do is when I get finished with this and I get the other project done, because time is of the essence when you're in a machine like this, you wanna stay focused. I am going to fix these two things. The sheep are on the other pasture anyways. Get everything pushed back in, closed back up, and then I'm going to put some T-posts around this so we can still get to it, but Mr. Rambo can't. Ha! So we're gonna get the Sawzall right now and get into this pipe. It's gonna be a bunch of water flopping in here, which I'm not gonna really care for. Got my bucket ready to go. I tried to get all the water out, but when you're dealing with a gravity-fed system, it's a lot harder to get the water out of the line. I went down to the lowest point, opened it up, and you know, some of it came out. I didn't go to my lowest point. I went to the sink, I went to the hydrant in the garden. I have another drain, but I'm just not prepared to use it at this moment. I have to do some more stuff with that. It was just for an emergency that I put it down by the cabin. So enough yakking, let's get attacking. That was pretty good. All right. Here's our problem child. Let me get this piece of pipe, cut off our collar, and get her done. Now what I want to do now is just kind of clean around this edge here. I want to make sure there's no dirt, no debris, anything that could stop my glue and primer from doing its job. A little added security here. I think that's what happened last time. I think I closed it up and there was a little piece of dirt or something on there, I think it just allowed me. I just always had this feeling about it. You know how sometimes when you have that feeling, trust your gut. You know, one thing you gotta do, you gotta trust your gut. Sometimes you don't. So I get all the burrs off of here. Make sure we're clean here. All right. All right, I like that. Glad I kept my old pair of boots. I had some old Red Wings that I just replaced, and I kept them just to hold on to them just in case. Glad I did that. Haven't got my winter boots yet. So I got to get me a pair of good waterproof boots. If you guys got any suggestions for manly man boots, you know what I'm saying? Like I look at a lot of these boots and they're like made for soy boys at the ski club or something, you know what I mean? I need something that can handle the weather. I did have those Baffins. Those Baffins were good boots. I had those for quite a few years. I did run with some muck boots for a while, and I never really cared for the muck boots, to be honest with you. They never held up. It seemed like I was buying boots every year, so didn't really care for the muck boots. If you're watching Muck Boot, if you made some improvements and you want to get a pair of boots into my hands before I get a pair, get a hold of us. We'll give you guys another try, but I'm not going to spend my $100 and something on them again. I bought those Baffins. They were about the same price, maybe a little bit more. My feet were never wet and they were never cold. All right, we got our primer on, both sides, everything primered up. Yeah, you got to imagine that this primer and glue is supposed to work on, you know, if it's wet out, right? I mean, you are dealing with pipes and stuff. I would just assume so. Oh man, Stacy! That was an off-grid with Doug and Stacy joke. Hang on. Just had to get my rag there, loosen up this lid a little bit, and then we're back in business. Back in business. This is the cement here, the PVC stuff. So you just put that in there. Bunch of it. I want to make sure I got a good seal this time. I don't want to keep doing this all the time. You guys probably want to see what I'm doing. Hang on, I'll show you what's going on. Get this little piece here cemented up so I can jam it in there. Have a good connection. Alright, so we got that fixed. Everything's looking good now, but I'm not going to close it up until I leave it here for a little bit and double check it. I'm going to try to get all this water out of here, and then I'm going to let it dry. I'm going to go work on the other plumbing issue that we have over at the house, and then I'll come back over here at the very end before I load the tractor up and take it back, and then I'll double check this and push the dirt in. But I think we're going to be good to go. We got to get moving. You know, you only got a certain amount of time to rent this equipment, otherwise it turns into a money suck. It has to be advantageous. So when you rent equipment, get that stuff there, do the work best you can, fast as you can, so it pays off. You know, I'll be able to use this for a short amount of time, get a lot of work done, and then take it back. So let's get over to the other place. I'll show you what's going on. All right, so here's one problem. I can't find the pipe on the first try, so I think I got an idea where it is now, because I did all this landscaping around this building and put these boulders in. I'm having a trouble finding that pipe. I ran that pipe from up there and brought it down here somewhere and made a big pit for it. And basically that's for our sub pump and our gray water that's from that building. We have a shower in there, a sink. And I thought it would be right there, but I'm gonna have to move the tractor over, I think, and attack this area a little further over. So couldn't call 1-800-DIG right. I'm just gonna have to find it myself, but time is of the essence. So I gotta keep going on so I don't lose the ability to use this machine to get the job done. All right, let's open up the second hole. That's where that pipe is. So I gotta get it buried out, and I'm gonna show you guys how I'm gonna fix this so we don't have to worry about it anymore. All right, we got the pump going. All right, we got the pipe exposed. Not too bad, got that on my second try. I was pretty close the first time. I just want to, I know all you wives out there, this is your favorite laundry day, is after your husband gets done working with this kind of stuff. Ha! I'm gonna be a mess. All right, I got holes in this pipe. See, I even put holes in this pipe to make sure that that water could drain out, you know what I mean, in case it got full. But the ground is so saturated, you can see how saturated it is. There's just nowhere for the water to go, so it's just backing back up into the building. I'm gonna show you guys what that looks like, and then I'm gonna get this fixed, and then we're gonna operate the pump on there and see how it goes without backing up again. Gotta put all this gravel in here. Put all this gravel in here. It's supposed to help with leaching, you know. But like I said, we've had so much rain all fall and winter, you know, so far this winter, that it just doesn't have nowhere to go. All right, let me get my stuff. Be right back. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put a pop-up on here. So what I'll do is I'm gonna put this elbow on there, right like that. All right, so we got the elbow on there. Then we're gonna run this up, just like this. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put a pop-up on here. I got it here. I'm gonna fill this all back in first. I'm gonna put a pop-up here, so when the water fills up this tube, the pop-up will pop up, the water will just ooze out. Water takes the path of least resistance. So it's lower than the point where it's coming out inside the root cellar. I'm gonna go show you here in a second. So this should work out perfect. Should have probably did this in the beginning, but I put a big drain field here with gravel and I thought it would be okay, but it wasn't because the ground's just too wet.
Next morning.
Well, as you guys can see, we're loading up the tractor to take it back. We got to make sure we have it good and secure. You guys can probably see I'm a lot cleaner than I was. So I'm going to take you guys over and show you what we got accomplished. But it is the next morning. And I just made it when the sun went down. Getting early, dark early these days, like 4:30, 4:45, it's dark out. So I just made it, put it on the trailer. I'm finishing up the video with you guys right now so you can see what's going on. Hold on a second, let me get this secure. All right, trailer is secure. Now I got to get it back to the rental place before I get dinged for another couple of hours. I didn't get a chance to show you guys what I fixed and how it all turned out. On the next video, which is tomorrow's video, I'll take you guys into the root cellar. I'll show you guys what's going on down there, and I'll show you my fixes, and we'll double check that hydrant up there and make sure there's no water inside of the control box. Also, I'm going to show you guys coming up about how I made those control boxes. I was kind of taking a 6-inch pipe before and saddling out the bottom and then putting it right over the top of that valve. But those valves, the handle on top of them, they were just so close to barely moving around in that 6 inches. Any dirt or a little bit of rock or something that would get in there would cause it to not operate. So my new fix is solid. It's working great, and I'm going to show you guys in the video coming up. I got to get out of here, take this trailer back. I'll see you guys tomorrow for those other updates, and we're going to keep this train moving. This video's every day, bro.